I know I have the AC on, but it's because it is hot as ballsinis outside. So, this is actually kind of cool. This is kind of dope. Did I just say dope? Jesus Christ, Jamie. I'm really into conspiracy theories and things like that and history. I love it. I'm a history nerd. There's apparently a bizarre conspiracy surrounding JFK Jr. And if you know anything about like the internet or the deep web, you know there's this thing or person that goes by QAnon. So there was this bizarre conspiracy theory or thought by some people that JFK Jr. was gonna come back on the 4th of July, that he didn't die in that plane crash. So it's just weird, and it was trending on Twitter the other day, and obviously I looked into it because I watched the 4th of July parade with, or the 4th of July extravaganza. Nobody could get that man a squeegee. The entire time, I'm like, my OCD was going off. I was like, somebody needs to squeegee it, because you couldn't see him. Apparently, JFK Jr. never died in that plane crash, allegedly. By some, this is what some are saying. That he never died in that plane crash, and he's an avid Trump supporter, and he's been hiding in Pennsylvania for 2 decades. According to some people on Twitter who don't seem to realize he's actually dead. So this is actually one of the articles that I read about it. It's Rolling Stone magazine's article on JFK Jr., who, if some of you may or may not know, if you guys are young and millennials, he was John F. Kennedy's son. Hopefully you knew that before I told you. He was a flyer. He apparently had his pilot's license. And he flew, you know, those really tiny, small planes that a lot of people feel are unsafe or whatever. But he went out and he never really got into politics. He released a magazine called George, which was supposed to be like a, I don't know, like political satire type of a magazine. I don't think it really did well, but I think he kind of steered clear of becoming a politician, just because if your dad was John F. Kennedy, you know, you're growing up with like the spotlight and just surrounded by your dad's memory and his sort of, you know, humongous impact that he's had on our world, especially when it came to his assassination and his death. I mean, it kind of made sense why he steered away from being in politics or politics. As much as a recluse I am, I would probably just never come out, or let alone, I just would be against any kind of a media or just anything. So he kind of tried to be a lawyer, I think, at some point. Anyway, I digress. So, JFK Jr. I'm gonna read this article just because it'll probably be a lot more coherent than me just spitting stuff out. So it says, consider, if you will, a sliding scale of celebrities. On one end of the spectrum are those who are still alive, including but not limited to Jennifer Aniston, Justin Bieber, 9/10 of the original cast of Beverly Hills 90210. On the other end, there are those who are dead, including but not limited to Elvis, John Belushi, and arguably Tupac. And I love how they say arguably, because there are still those who believe good old Tupac is alive because he was a hologram at Coachella. Which, by the way, we have attempted to use hologram technology, and people don't really dig it that much. So on this scientific scale, it says John F. Kennedy Jr. falls somewhere in between Judy Garland and former Minnesota Twins center fielder Kirby Puckett. I don't know who the fuck that is. All of which is to say he's extremely irrefutably dead. Wow, Rolling Stone. Ouch. In July 1999, the son of John and Jackie Kennedy and co-founder of George Magazine perished in a tragic plane crash at the age of 38, along with his wife, Carolyn Bessette, and his sister-in-law, Lauren. At least this is the conventional narrative perpetrated by the fake news media, according to supporters of the pro-Trump conspiracy theory QAnon. QAnon had a website. I don't know if it's still up or not, but he's apparently some guy who I'm convinced is like living in his basement somewhere at his grandma's house, just like, you know, who lives and breathes all kinds of bizarre conspiracy theories, and people just eat that stuff up, especially people who are also living in basements. So, hardcore Q believers think that JFK Jr. is not only alive and well, but also that he plans to emerge from his 20-year hiatus from public life by coming out and supporting Trump as his running mate in 2020. I didn't even know that. I just heard about this from the whole, like, July 4th thing where he was supposed to be resurrected. Moreover, I hate that word. What an awful word. What an awful word. Moreover. I don't know. Moreover, they believe that a guy in Pittsburgh named Vincent Fuchsia is actually JFK Jr. in disguise, and they have made t-shirts promoting this belief. Seriously, you can buy them on Amazon. The theory that JFK Jr. is alive and a Trump supporter, and a hirsute former financial services professional who lives in Pittsburgh, has been percolating in QAnon forums for at least the past year. But it recently made YouTube where QAnon supporters are posting tutorials on how to make JFK Jr. face masks to wear to Trump's much-hyped July 4th rally, when they believe JFK Jr. will finally emerge from hiding. The goal of the masks, according to Daily Beast reporter whoever the fuck, is for believers to be able to easily identify other QAnon supporters, though frankly this seems unlikely, as the shock of seeing a long-dead celebrity casually walking around Washington would almost certainly inspire mass fear and panic in the streets. I don't think so. So they think if JFK Jr. apparently just showed up out of nowhere and he was alive, there'd be mass hysteria. I don't think so. Number one, most of the people alive right now that are involved in politics or, you know, on social media is the millennial generation. They're the young kids, so they don't even know who JFK Jr. is, sadly. So I highly doubt that would happen, and also it's not something that would be that exciting. She would just be like a normal guy, so if anything, maybe, I don't know. I don't agree with that at all. I think people are bound to get like more hyped over a Fortnite weird thing happening than seeing JFK Jr. alive, but I digress. What exactly is the basis for this theory, and where did it come from? Why exactly do QAnon believers ardently cling to the idea that John is alive and well and living in Pittsburgh? And did Vincent Fuchsia have sex with Daryl Hannah in the 1980s? What in the actual fuck? These are just a few of the important questions we must answer. Okay, so what is QAnon exactly, you ask? They have a video for JFK Jr. mask DIYs. That's fun. QAnon is an elaborate conspiracy theory suggesting that an anonymous poster known as Q, because of his supposed high level of security clearance in the US government, has been posting messages since fall 2017, attesting to a deep state conspiracy against Trump orchestrated by his enemies, including Hillary Clinton, John Podesta. Okay, who gives a fuck? How did JFK Jr. become involved? Yes, that's what we would all love to know. The theory that Kennedy was alive and running Q arose in June 2018 after the anonymous poster behind Q briefly went dark. Another anonymous poster, R, showed up on the QAnon forums on the website 8chan. Hi 8chan! Hi 4chan!/POL, started dropping hints that JFK Jr. faked his death to avoid being targeted by members of the deep state conspiracy and was actually Q. Sorry guys, give me a minute, I just don't want my brain to explode. So, I don't think JFK Jr. is alive, no. The idea gained further credence thanks to Liz Crokin, a right-wing conspiracy whatever. During a 2018 interview with vlogger whoever, in the video, Crokin cited Q's posts about former President John F. Kennedy as evidence that JFK Jr. was running the account. The way that Q talks about JFK Sr. in the post, it is with such love and passion, it makes me think that this is someone that is close to him. If JFK Jr. faked his death and was alive, it would make sense that he was Q. So people are wasting their lives thinking that this guy is still alive, even though they found his plane and bodies in the water. I think a lot of times people we love conspiracy theories because a lot of times the truth is very boring. I've said this in so many videos and short films that I've made, which is I understand the psychology behind conspiracy theories and behind humanity's desire to create these very complex conspiracy theories. And it's because, you know, of the infamous Occam's razor theory, which is 95% of the time, the truth is something that's the simplest answer, and it's usually boring, and people don't want boredom. People want excitement, and people want entertainment, and people want to think that there has to be a complex reason behind a complex happening, which is what they call these things on a lot of these deep web forums. When some sort of breaking news event happens, it's called a happening. You know, it can't just be a simple explanation. It has to be something equally complex because the emotions are so complex. I don't believe in any of this political fairy tale stuff with Q and all this other stuff. I think it gives people in their basement something to do, which I'm not judging because everybody needs something to do. But I think when you find a body and you find a plane crash, you kind of need to stop. You have all the proof you need. But like I said, if it's boring, you got to make it more exciting, right? And people just want to believe. People want to believe so bad that there is something so much more complex in this universe. And that it's not just us human beings, biological animals like everybody else. We live and we die and then that's it. And that's why they created religion. Just saying. That's that for that JFK theory. Fascinating.